So we are here at the pyramids of Giza. Alright, hi from Egypt. Oh my gosh, so chaotic. So I just got here yesterday and needed some time to just recuperate and process. But so far the impressions are very chaotic, very messy, kind of like everyone said, the Wild Wild West of the Middle East. Some people were comparing it to India. It could have looked like that on the streets. I haven't been to India yet. It definitely reminded me of, like, you know, third world country, like Mexico type of vibes or Colombia type of vibes, like people just walking on the huge highways and having to cross the street at random times. Not me, but like just random people on the streets. And yeah, definitely very different from Israel and all the other countries so far. But I'm not getting the super, you know, dangerous vibes that people were predicting beforehand, and maybe that's just because I've been to other countries that felt way more dangerous. Maybe it's just because I've arrived here. You do have to be super careful though. So I have an Egyptian friend, and she said the pyramids are right in the slums, which is why you always need to be careful here. It's not a rich area. People like to scam you and all of that. And the easiest way to get around in Egypt would be Uber, especially here in Cairo. But yeah, those are just like the smaller details. So we're here at the Pyramid of Giza finally, wanting to do this my entire life. And we're gonna check out a few pyramids. I heard you can't bring your camera inside, so I'm not sure we'll actually look at tombs today. But that's okay, because I'm going to Luxor and I'm gonna see plenty of temples and tombs over there. But yeah, so we're just gonna check this out. We're gonna check out the Sphinx. And if I have time, we'll also go to a restaurant around here, which I think we'll have plenty of time. I wanted to head to the museum after, but just looking at where it was and looking at how the traffic is, I'm not sure I'll make it 100% because at this point it's almost 2 o'clock already, and the museum tends to close at around 5 o'clock, and I'm not sure half an hour or an hour is sufficient for it, but I'll see. We'll see how I feel. So come join me in the pyramids of Giza in Cairo. And they're right there in the background. Once again, I don't have a guide. Could have been a mistake, I don't know. I keep wondering whether or not it's better or not so good. But I am on my own, meaning I can spend as much time as I want to here. And it seems you can just walk around. And they even have like little horse carriages and everything. So I don't know how this works, but the complex is quite large. So you have to walk from place to place like the Sphinx. I think I got a ticket for the Sphinx to walk in. Let's see if it works. They say they don't allow cameras, but I'm just gonna have it in my backpack. And yeah, so we're here. Amazing. It's really amazing to be here. Finally, after seeing so many pictures and videos of it online. It's not quite as busy. I would assume it would be way busier during high season. So right now it's February. It's not quite as busy. A lot of tourists, when I stood for the ticket entry, were more Arabic tourists, and it actually helped me out. It was so funny because I was asking the ticket guy some questions in regards to the entrance fee, and then a guy behind me translated and he was Arabic, so yeah, I have no idea. But you know, it just kind of shows that whenever you need help, I think there's always help around you. Alright, so we're currently here and the horses are right here. And overall, it's just, I feel it's just a different type of harassment that you experience here, you know, whereas in the Latin American countries, it's really more about they bother you, but when you say no, they leave you alone. Here with that one guy, he was like following me for like 10 minutes straight until, you know, finally he effed off. But yeah, I had said to him no a million times, so it feels just a different type of harassment that you encounter here. But other than that, it's okay. So far, and I guess they don't take no easily as an answer. I'm not sure. Not sure it's ever worked with the persistency that they show, but it was a bit annoying. So people said not to take horses or camels because they don't treat them very well here. I'm not sure I'll do a camel ride, but the horses look a little bit malnourished. They also have branding and everything on them. So I'm just spending a little bit of time with them here until we move on to the next pyramid. Alright, so things are getting weirder and weirder. These random Egyptian people in the background took like a bunch of selfies with me. I have no idea why. I'm hoping it's just because they're friendly. They seemed a bit goofy though. So I went into this little tomb and the security guy was really nice. But then when I exited the tomb, he was like, "Oh, a tip from the heart, blah blah blah." And I'm just like, "Okay, so I guess they're only nice when they want a tip." But yeah, I didn't give him a tip. I found it a bit too much. So this entire, I show you something, you give me one tip. It's a bit crazy. So right now we've gone to this thing, and we still have all those behind us. It's 1, 2, 3 more, and then we have the Sphinx, which I actually have a ticket for. So I think we might go there next. Alright, so you see the Sphinx right there in the background, and that's one I have a ticket for, but I kind of have to cut around like all the way, I don't know, another 10-15 minutes around, so I decided I'm just going to go back up to the rest of the pyramids just to check those out, and maybe even grab some food somewhere. They have like a restaurant with a nice view supposedly, and actually I'm not even sure I'll get to see the inside of the Sphinx this time, because after all that's done, there might not be that much time because it's already like 3 p.m. at this point, but it's right there. You see it right there in the background. This is also the point where you get harassed a lot by the vendors, so it's actually worse than it was over there. Somewhere around this area it's pretty bad, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you hear a lot of stories online. Also, the way the horses are sliding down that hill, I tried to take a picture. It was very hard to see. When I was walking down earlier, I was walking with these 2 girls, and they were like, they're always sliding down like that, and almost looks like animal abuse because it's like a very steep hill and there's sand and everything too. Yeah, okay, so you could see it in one. I took a better video of it where the horse was like sliding down, and one horse even had like a little bandage on it, on one of its feet. So I don't think animals are treated very well here, let's put it that way. And yeah, it's a bit heartbreaking to see poor horses, but yeah, you have street dogs too, so I saw like little puppies again. Alright, so we're currently at this pyramid, and I think it's time to eat something because we're being harassed again. Yeah, it's a bit intense. I don't think it's super extreme, to be honest with you. I feel I've had situations in Mexico that were worse, but it's just different in a way where it's like one after another here, and some of them don't take no as an answer, so that is a bit annoying. I do want to say that, but also this is not even the main tourist season, so I don't even know what it would be like during the main tourist season. I don't think it would be an experience I want to have or make. So I'm quite happy that I'm here during off season. We have a bunch of random other rocks in the background. I also think it's the difference between being a woman and being a man, once again, in countries like this. I hate to say that, but you're just treated so differently as a woman alone as opposed to being a man alone. You know, women are definitely harassed more, in my opinion. I have seen men being harassed the same way, but it just feels it's more focused towards the weaker gender, but that's just how it is in a macho culture, right? Alright, so we're outside of the Sphinx, and I can blend in some footage that I took closer to it, but I totally forgot we're in the winter months, so things closed down a bit earlier. I guess they closed down at 4 p.m. already, and right now it's 4:30 p.m. So I missed the Sphinx. I even have a ticket for it, which was like 100 Egyptian pounds, so it's like $3 or $4. It's okay. I mean, you know, it's, I think I saw a whole lot here, and I'm actually not sure I'm gonna come back on this trip. So I still have like 1 or 2 days in Cairo on my way back, but not sure I'll do it, just come back here and see the Sphinx, because it's a little bit outside of where I'm staying. And I also missed the restaurant, so I couldn't really eat something yet, and I'm pretty hungry. I think I might just head on and try to either find some food or meet up with my friend again. All right, so a bit less in the background, but yeah, basically we're back in Egypt and we are in the Coptic center. So this is old Cairo. So we're back in Cairo. We've been in Egypt the entire time, and now we're gonna go see the Hanging Church. And about 3 years ago, my Egyptian friend from here, the one who showed me a whole bunch of other stuff in Cairo, she told me about this church. It's the Hanging Church. It's a Coptic church. Coptic is like this old Christian that's hard to find nowadays, you know, all the old structures and churches. And she told me that the story goes, because there were nuns around this church, and they told her in Arabic that Jesus fled the Romans with Mary, and that was when he was an adult, not a kid. So that is interesting because the Bible doesn't mention any of that. I have a theory what it means. You know, for me personally, it could have been after the crucifixion, but the church, from my understanding, worships Virgin Mary. I think it has to do with Mary Magdalene, though, because a lot of Virgin Mary, Mary Magdalene, it all gets muddled up. So if this is really true, this would be a sign that Jesus and Mary Magdalene stopped here on their way over to wherever else they went. They went to France, you know, until they settled somewhere around Avalon and everything. But yeah, we're gonna check it out. There's a Coptic museum too. A lot of police in the background, so it's pretty safe. Now we're gonna go straight to the Hanging Church because that's the only piece of history I'm really interested in right now. And we'll see what it's about. All right, so we're here. It's hot. I wish I had a dress on. And basically, they're making it seem like this was the location where Jesus was when he was a child. So you see this mural here in the background. But when my friend went here back in 2019 or so, she talked to some nuns who worked here or who were around here, and they told her a different story. So that was a very interesting story that they told her for sure. Maybe a missing piece to something. But yeah, it's a very interesting spot. So my friend who'd never been to Israel, she's like, this is how she would imagine Jerusalem to be like. I think Jerusalem's still way more, it has just a different vibe, but the style of this could match it a tiny bit. It's just not really, it's a different style, but it has like these beautiful murals here in the background, and I'm sure it has a lot of hidden treasures. Just not sure we're gonna uncover those today. But this is the Hanging Church, and I'll take some more footage through it when walking through it too. Alright, just like so many things, it seems the energy inside is just very hijacked. They have a lot of paintings and drawings from like the 18th century, which is 1800s, from like the medieval ages, all of that. But I didn't see like the really old stuff. So, and there's also like a whole bunch of other saints that aren't necessarily related to Jesus or anything. So for me, that's just a sign that a lot of other stuff was kind of pushed into there. I have to do a proper read on this place when I get back home because it's incredibly hard to do any type of read when you have these amounts of tourists in the background. I almost feel it takes away from like the holiness of a place like this, or like the sacredness of it. But yeah, it's interesting. Like the vibe here, there's certainly like a certain vibe to it. I would say even like a little bit of pain that I felt in Jerusalem too, so that is interesting. Could definitely be that he came here after his crucifixion. Anyhow, so I took some footage from the inside. I hope you enjoyed it, and we're gonna continue our way down.